Good evening, everyone. My name is Zahra Marzu, and I'm going to be your moderator today for this exciting Pick a Book Cross Country Flipside event. I'm extending a warm welcome to all of our esteemed guests, participants, book enthusiasts, and most of all, our wonderful book reader, Narendra Kumar. And before I begin, let me briefly introduce Pick a Book for you all. Pick a Book is a global movement. It is dedicated to fostering the love for reading and personal growth through the wonders of literature. With the presence in 5 different countries, our mission is to encourage individuals to develop their full potential by engaging in various aspects of personal growth through the magic of books. And Flipside is an engaging online segment by Pickable Global, connecting readers through inspiring conversations. Previously, we've had wonderful conversations, and today is going to be a similarly wonderful event. Today, we have a special person, an avid reader who is going to bring a unique perspective to the table. If I am to introduce him, he is the chairperson of Literary Cavern Club, Chennai, India. He has selected a wonderful book, which is called The Present by Spencer Johnson. So I warmly welcome you, Narendra Kumar, to this session.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great pleasure being for doing some good job for Pick a Book.
Yes, it's wonderful. So I hope you've been well.
Yeah, I'm
And
doing well. Yeah.
yes, now I'm going to dive in because I have not read this book yet. So I'm interested to know, can you please share with us some insights about what this book is about?
Okay. First, let me thank Pick a Book team for organizing this event and the Chennai team for putting up a good show every Saturday. And now let me come to this book. This book is called The Present. And I read this book long time ago. When I was a young trainer, I used to pick a lot of books to improve my training skills, to improve my vocabulary, and also to share more insights during a training program. This book is written by an author called Spencer Johnson. Spencer Johnson is a very famous author. He has written closer to around 25 to 30 books. One of his famous series is called The Who Moved My Cheese. I'm sure the people who are out there would have read it. Who Moved My Cheese is about change management. And then he is very famous for writing some more books called The 1 Minute Manager. And then he's written a book called The Present Tales, covering a lot of chapters, topics. Now, this book, The Present, is written by Spencer Johnson. And the beauty of this entire book is he's not giving you something like, no, what are the 10 steps to heaven, or no, what are the 5 things you should do in your life. That's not the way it is written. It is not about a prescription. This book is a beautiful, story that happens between an old man and a young man. But the way the book starts is something very interesting, right? The book starts with a narration about the characters who are involved in the book. Okay, in one single line, what is this book all about? It talks about this minute, this second, this moment is real, and those who are able to live this real moment are the people who are actually enjoying their life. That's what the final verdict of the book is all about. But in order to enjoy this final verdict, it is not that you can just listen to me and get the essence of it. Any book is, once you read it, it tells you a lot of thought process for you based on the way you're leading your life. So in a nutshell, this book is about present, and the other word for the present is gift. This minute, this second, this conversation I'm having with you is a gift to me. Yeah, you can go with the next question, please.
Yes. So if you were to describe the book in few words, so will you be using the words that you were talking right now?
Yeah, right. So it's a very simple book, right? He doesn't write 200, 300 pages. He just comes up with, say, 100, 110 pages. Right? Whenever you're traveling in a train, whenever you're traveling in a flight, all you can do is you can finish reading the book in, let's say, an hour or two. But once you read the book, what happens with this kind of books is, after a few months or after a few years, if you take the book, the mind frame in which you read that day and the mind frame in which you read today will be different. Okay, let me give you a thought about this book. When I read this book for this webinar, I was just traveling last week to Mumbai. I was just reading the book. When I read the book, it was not the same book to me what I read before 15 years. This book took me into journey of COVID days. It took me into journey of the recessions what we faced in 2008. It made me realize about the tough times we had in 2017 when the automobile industry in India was going on a downtrend. And it started helping me to recollect every part of my life when things were not right. It started questioning me. It started slapping me on my face, telling that, what did you think while things were not right to you? Were you thinking about the problems? Were you thinking about, did you have the fear of the future? Or did you accept the present and lead a life? That's the power of this book, right? That's the way I can describe this book.
Wonderful. I feel very much inspired. And you were talking about few characters or people mentioned in this book. Would you like to tell us more about it?
Okay, now how this book starts is there is a character called Liz Michaels and Bill Green. Right? They both come for a chat, probably over a lunch. And Liz is actually a disturbed corporate employee. She's finding it very difficult to meet the deadlines, right, to take the targets and a lot of pressure in the work. And she meets Bill, whereas Bill was very happy. He was no more enthusiastic about life. And Liz tells, right, Bill, now when I see you, you look so different. You were not the same kind of person before many years or before few years. How come you're able to be so positive in life? And how come you're able to radiate so much of energy? And then Bill tells, right, let me tell you, I read something, a conversation between an old man and a young boy. And that story actually changed my life. Okay. And if you take this book, it starts with a story where Bill narrates about a conversation between about an old man and a young boy. Let me give you some thought about this old man and a young boy. This old man is retired, a man with a lot of positivity, and he always helps people with whatever way is possible. So he sees a young boy, and this old man tells, I got a beautiful gift to you. And this boy actually, right, he's young, right? When we talk about gift, right, this person is excited. But right now, I'm not going to give it, right? I'm sure that one day you'll come back and you'll keep asking me for the gift. So in a nutshell, right, this book actually starts with Bill Green and Liz Michaels, right, who start a conversation. And the next part of the book is the story where the old man and a young boy have a regular interaction. And this interaction doesn't happen in a day. This interaction goes in various phases of life, right? When he was a young boy, then he was a teenager, then he became a young adult, and then he started going to job. And then he also had difficulties in life. So every phase of his life is actually presented in a beautiful format. Then every phase, there is some thought process that comes about the gift. Okay, that's how this book has been, say, arranged for the readers to enjoy every part of the life. Okay.
So I'm
Yes,
curious about the gift now. I'm
You're
really
curious
curious about the gift now. Will you be able to share with us what this gift was?
No, we have a few more minutes. Let the audience also be same as curious as what you are.
Yes.
I'm not going to just give the gift like that. Okay, and neither the book gave me the gift like that. Okay, the book made me to read fast so that I can also know what is the gift.
What gift is?
So yeah, so let me
So
tell you how.
Did you find out
Yeah,
what the gift was?
no, I found out the gift, and I also understood that gift is present with everybody in the world. Right? Finally, when I finish the presentation or the discussion, you all will be wondering, why are we not using that gift, which is with us, which is not expensive. It doesn't require a credit card. It doesn't require a debit card. It doesn't require an UPI. It doesn't require an EMI, right? It doesn't require no months and years to repay it. Okay, it is within us, right? Let me not break it so soon.
Sure,
So,
that's right.
yeah, you can go
So
with the
is
next
there
question.
any, now when we read books a lot, like most of us like self-help books now. Personally, I like self-help, and we are always going behind this concept called success. So are there any like tips or guidance for success in this book?
Before I answer this question on success, let me also give you some thoughts about the gift, as you asked, right? I thought I also need to take you back and create more curiosity. Okay, in this book, right, the young boy, he goes and asks this old man, you said there is a gift. And the old man tells, yes. And then he asks, what kind of gift is it? Is it toys? Is it cycles? It is candies? Is it chocolate? He said, no, that is not the gift. And this young boy was very busy. He said, okay, let me go and let me play. And then after a few years, he came back and then he asked the old man, you said you got some beautiful gift for me. Right now, I'm a teenager. No, is it something like a time machine? No, where I can go explore the world? He said, no. And then after a few months, he came back and asked, is it something like a beautiful letter, what I can write it to my girlfriend? He said, no. And then this young boy felt, I mean, this teenager felt, come on here, this guy is probably kidding. He doesn't have any gift with him. And he started progressing in his life. And then at one point of time, he also got a job. He started getting into jobs. And then at that time, right, he was depressed. He was undergoing a lot of pain. He was expecting a promotion, which he didn't get. And he felt, right, let me go to the old man and find out about the gift, what he said. Will that gift make some sense to me, right, in the present? So he went and he met the old man again. Now, I'm sure that, right, when I said this, you people are visualizing the old man, you people are visualizing this young adult. Probably at the third question, you are more interested in taking the gift in your hand, but I'm not going to give it now. Okay. Let me keep the
That's
curiosity for a while. Now, you said about the self-help books and success, right? Let me narrate something which I came across
Yeah.
when I was reading a book on self-help. Long time ago, I used to travel in the city bus, and every time I travel, I used to have a book in the hand. There's some book about the power of positive thinking, something like that. There's a middle-aged man who sat next to me, and he asked, by reading all these books, do you think you'll become very successful? Right? I said, right, I'm not reading this book to become successful. I'm reading this book so that I don't lose. I don't lose the battle of life, so that I have some tools and techniques to lead a better life. Right? When we read a book, it is not that we need to become a millionaire or a billionaire. The books are not for the purpose of making money. It is for making peace within ourselves. And the middle-aged man was surprised with the answer. And then after a few years, I recollected that incident and I blogged it. I wrote it in my blog about the importance of self-help book. Now let me come to success. Okay, success per se is such a beautiful word, right? Every one of us outside, right, would like to succeed in our life, in our own definitions of whatever we have. Okay, but there are a lot of thoughts about success. There are a lot of books about success. There are a lot of what you call discussions going on about success, right? And then slowly people have also understood that success is not something which is defined and that can be the way it should be, say, achieved. Then they felt success is something very, very personal. But this book has opened my eyes about success. It talks about success is actually progressing towards whatever you think is important. The author doesn't tell that you need to achieve, you need to accomplish, nothing like that. He tells when you progress towards what is important, you're focusing. When you're focusing, you're accomplishing. When you're accomplishing, you're peaceful, right? You're positive. And now this entire journey itself is so beautiful. And then why are we worried about the final word called success? Okay, that's how this book gives us an insight about success. And then what I understood when I read this book is success is not final and failure is not the end. Okay, I also recollected a beautiful quote told by Bruce Lee. He is highly a goal-oriented person. I'm sure that people out there would have read about him and a very, very right, a legendary person who left the world very early. But every time, right, when I read a book on goals and success, Bruce Lee always flashes in my mind. I remember what Bruce Lee said once. He said, goals are not meant only to be achieved. It is meant to be focused. So the journey which is so focused, right, is more an experience rather than the destination itself. Right. So this definition of Bruce Lee and this definition given by Spencer Johnson, let me redefine it again. Success is progressing towards whatever you think is important. Okay. So now I'm sure that you have some thoughts. Now you've been asking me questions. Now let me also ask you a question. Right now, what is your thought about the discussion we had so far?
It's really mind blowing and eye opening because we always think of success as the amount of money you have in bank or the amount of luxuries you have in around your life that you find comfort in. But now that you're talking about that in a different way, and when you talk about like Like goals are not to be achieved, goals are to be focused on. I am seeing a whole new side to the story. So it's the first time that someone talked about these things. Like we are always like a goal is something that you have to achieve. It's a red bullseye. You have to go there. But now that you tell it that way, I feel like wow, it's amazing. And it's amazing that the way that you described that you even wrote about the importance of self-help books in your blog. I'm really curious to read your blog as well now. So there's so much more about you, and I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you have answered my question, because this is a great, thought insight I got, right? People always misunderstand we need to slog to reach our goals, right? Sometimes, right, I always believe, right, you will reach the goal at one point of time, because when you're focused, you don't see anything else. But the process should be enjoyed, right? That's what this book also tells. And there is, a very, very, right, a competitive world out there. And in India, right, we always have this beautiful English word called EMI, right, which in financial terms is called as equated monthly installments. But I have a definition for this, which is called the equated mental illness. Okay. So what
Yes.
is equated mental illness is, now if you look in, right, people after they get a job, right, after 2 3 years they go buy a car, and after that they buy a flat.
House.
And
Yeah.
here the peer group tells a boss, this guy is well settled, he's got a 2 BHK and he has got a car. But the reality is, the car doesn't belong to him, it belongs to some bank. The home in which he is living, I'm sorry, it's not a home, it is actually a house, right? A home is different, house is different, and that home belongs to some bank. Okay, for the next 15 to 20 years, right, this person is going to slog all the way to ensure that he pays all the EMIs. Okay.
Mm.
And now, when the journey comes to an end, right, I'll just give you an example. Somebody feels, wow, I completed my, let's say, home loan. Today I'm
Mm.
free from loans. Don't worry, the bank will come back and tell that this house is almost 20 years old. You require a renovation. So
Yes.
they'll give a top up loan. And for the next 5 years, till your retirement, you're going to again keep working, working, and working. Okay. Now, in this world, right, though I have a house which is not mine, though I have a car which is not mine, right, people always feel that they're just running for something.
Mm.
And that something is actually all about paying the bills.
Mm.
Okay. But this book gives a powerful insight at the end. And he uses a very powerful word to understand how, despite of having all these burdens, still we can enjoy our life. Okay. So I thought, let me share this thought process, because, right, all my friends, and even I was in the rut of running and paying the loans.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Sometimes, right.
talking about that, and Bruce Lee, my mind crossed across one phrase. Like, if you might remember, if you have watched Kung Fu Panda, the person says, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called present." Isn't that
Yeah, I
correct?
think you're actually giving the answer of the book.
I don't know. So,
No, no, that's
what
okay,
do
right?
these, yeah, what do
Yeah,
these words mean? Do these words mean anything in the book? That means.
definitely, yes, right. If you go with the next question, I'm sure that you have the question with you now. Uh, so it's like this, right? If you want to define the past as per this book, what the author tells us, you cannot change the past. It is absolutely impossible, right? Unless and otherwise, right? We get into a time machine and then go do some corrections. It is not going to happen. And what he tells us, right? You cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. Okay. Every time, right? The past actually helps us to learn many things. But he tells, don't keep dwelling on it. Okay. The more you keep dwelling on it, the more actually you're stuck and you're not able to be in the present. And now, what is the present is, he's telling present is not the past, it is not the future, it is this moment. And that's the reason why it is called the a gift. And then there is a other definition of future. How beautifully it talks about the future is, generally when we talk about future, what happens is people talk as if future is dark, as if future is going to be difficult.
These days,
And
particularly.
yeah, there is all kind of expectations. See, whenever I run a training program, I always ask this question, right? I write the word future and I ask, what do you feel? What does this word mean to you? I'll get mind-boggling answers. Okay. But when I count it, most of the answers are negative: fear, worried, uh, fear of losing a job, artificial intelligence, machine language, robotics, VUCA world, okay, industry 4.0. Okay, I get all these kinds of answers. Right? Very rarely somebody tells what is future. They tell, right, future is going to be, it is going to be tomorrow morning. The future is going to be the next minute. Okay. And there are people who actually don't care about it. Right? They're just like a dolphin who beautifully enjoy that. And how beautifully the author describes the future is, he tells future is a wonderful place where you're going to live. Okay, look at the word he has used. It's a wonderful place where you're going to live. Okay, now the minute I know that tomorrow is going to be a wonderful day, how do you think I'm going to carry myself today? I'm going to carry with a lot of enthusiasm. I'm going to carry myself with a lot of passion because tomorrow is a wonderful day, irrespective of whatever it is, right? Correct?
You feel
And
hopeful.
during COVID, right? I'll tell you one thing. What a beautiful period it was for some in terms of mind, but I don't fully agree on it because I lost my friend, I lost my aunt, I lost my uncle, I lost many people around me, and I saw people losing their jobs and losing their wealth. But that particular time period, people were trying to tell, right, look, don't worry about the job. Think about how healthy you should be, how you should not succumb to the disease. Okay. That's the time where the families were sitting together, the families were talking together, families were evolving plans, families were sitting and counting on what kind of unnecessary expenses we should reduce. And that was actually becoming a meaningful present. Okay, I never saw people engage in so much of self-development activities. Right. During those days, I used to run positive thinking WhatsApp group. And every day I record a message and send a lesson, and people will come and record their voice and tell, this is my learning. Like that, we continued for 50 days. And we created something called Learning Festival during, that time. And we were talking about the future, right? And if you closely watch during COVID times, it was a record-breaking, activity of developing a vaccine. The world has never developed a vaccine so fast.
Yes.
Okay, everybody were engrossed, right, in that every minute, every second that we need to save the world, right? Let it be a scientist, let it be a sanitary worker, right? He always, right, was there on the road to ensure that, right, tomorrow we wake up alive. So if you see, everybody were living that beautiful present. Okay, so only when I read this book, for me, COVID days were more coming to my mind, right? I would like to tell something at this point of time. When my brother was COVID positive, we are a joint family. We were around 9 people in our house, and he became positive. And immediately we decided we'll call the government and say what you call reveal that he's positive. And then I took the help of a doctor from the local community and arranged for the government people to come and do a test on all of us. Okay, some of my friends said, don't do that, right? It's okay, right? Your house is big, probably your brother is isolated. We said, no, let us test it because, right, let's not take chances. And this was during the first wave. And then after we did the test, we found 2 were positive and the rest were not positive. Okay. And so that entire 14 days, right, we were all right, just waiting, right, what kind of help they will require. Probably they're inside the room. We were just sitting outside. And once we get a call telling that we require some water, we require something, right, everybody were willing to go, right, without seeing faces, right. Every minute, right, it was spent to see that that person is going to be healthy. He walks out as a healthy person. So COVID was the time where, right, I felt people enjoyed that gift called the present. When I mean enjoyed is, I don't want people to take it in negative sense. It is, they were so oriented that let me ensure that I complete this day. Let me ensure I cross the first phase. And then when COVID-2 came, it was even more worst. So they became more careful, right? They started speaking to friends. They started talking. They started asking, right, do you want any help? Right? I was so thrilled, right, when I saw people just going around and helping people. They never thought about their future. They never thought about whether they'll have money for the future. Okay. None of them, they spoke about the mistake they did in the past. Right? None of them were connecting with their failures. None of them were connecting with their, what you called say success. Okay, and this book, the way it defined is past is learn from it, present is live it, future is just consider it to be a wonderful place to live. Now, those were the definition of past, present, and the future.
Wonderful. So the past is a place where you learn, present is where you enjoy, and future is somewhere you look forward to. A wonderful place.
Yeah.
So I was curious. Were you already familiar with the book during COVID, or did you got it later?
No, I'll tell you one thing. During COVID days, I never remembered this book. Okay, but the essence of all these books is, right, you might not recollect the book, but slowly certain qualities develop within us. Okay, and the people who are there, right, who are actually finding it difficult to read a book. Okay, some of them, they tell, when I open a book, I go to sleep, right? I'm not able to read. And today, right, more of gadgets. I always felt that, right, I have a good library of books with me and a good library of DVDs on self-development. All these things actually has come inside us. Right? Probably it would have come to me during COVID. Whenever I spoke to people about, you need to be what you called, you need to be healthy, you need to be positive. I was not speaking per se. If you ask me, right, from where did I get this knowledge? I would have got it from Spencer Johnson. I would have got it from Stephen R. Covey. I would have got it from, say James Allen. I would have got it from Zig Ziglar. Okay. So once you read a book, my dear friends, you are not alone. There are so many authors who are actually inside your heart and the brain, right? Who actually will come to you in different forms and give you the kind of courage you require to lead a life.
This is amazing because to tell you the truth, I joined Pick a Book during the first wave of COVID, like when there was this lockdown in Sri Lanka. For 3 months, we were not able to go anywhere. So I was with my family isolated, completely isolated in a remote place. And then I got to know about Pick a Book by coincidence. And since then, I've been a part of Pick a Book. Of course, because I have loved reading as a child, and this gave me the chance to revoke that habit of reading and sharing what I read with others. So yes, as you say, now that I think of it, definitely, like, no one thought that COVID would be a good thing, but now that I think of it, yes, it seems like one of the best things that happened.
And when you look at the self-development books, right, those who read these books more, incidentally, they use this word called proactive. Okay, when they use the word called proactive or circle of concern or circle of control, I can understand that they have read Stephen R. Covey. Okay, and during any conversation, when I went to pick a book, and we asked people, right, can you tell me some of the books you read? Right, incidentally, right, a Spencer Johnson books comes to place, Stephen R. Covey comes to place, or probably, right, people like Zig Ziglar comes to place. Okay, so see, if you look at the book, right, the person who reads the book, his world is that book.
Yes.
Okay, and he's engrossed there because he has got a gift in his hand. Correct?
True. Yes,
so
true.
he's gifted. He's gifted, right? Somebody asked me, I was doing a program in Mumbai, right? And I showed this book called The Present. I said, I'm reading this book because I need to say answer some questions in a webinar. And then he asked, sir, is it good that we should read it in a book format, or can we read it in Kindle? I said, reading is important. It doesn't mind whether you're reading it as a book or whether you're reading it as Kindle. But then he asked me a question, what do you prefer? I said, I prefer a book. And I did a survey using Mentimentor. It's called Mentimentor or something. It's a survey platform. During COVID, I found out that. I sent a question to all my WhatsApp groups, around 30 WhatsApp group. I asked, how many of you prefer to read a book in a book format or a Kindle format? You'll not believe. 85% they said they would like to take the book in the hand. Okay.
That's really
and what they said is, when I read a book, right, I don't get messages. I don't get WhatsApp messages. I don't get SMS messages. I don't get anything that pops up on the book. It is me and my book. But whereas I read it in Kindle in my book, right, a message comes from my friend, right, a Swiggy sends me a message telling the dinner time, right? The Facebook notification tells your friend is live. So where am I reading the book? I'm more engrossed. Unless in other ways I have a Kindle device in the hand. Okay.
It's very distracting.
So it's really right. The present is nothing but the gift, and the book is a gift.
Okay, so now can I ask you, are there any favorite parts in this book that you remember or
Okay.
sort of like to quote to us?
Okay. Now, when you ask this question, right, what were your favorite parts of this book? The book itself is a favorite part to me. Okay, there is no doubt about it. Okay, but there is something, right? Whenever you read a book out of 110 pages or whatever it is, at least two things will deeply go into your mind. It will start, doing it will do the magic. It will make you think about the book. The author compares life to a tripod stand. Okay, I just want you to visualize a tripod stand, and it tells what are these tripods are. One is the past, next is the present, and next is the future. Okay, you remove one leg, there is no life.
Brilliant.
Okay, look how brilliantly he has compared it. Without past, there is no present. Without future, there is no present. Now, let me help you how to understand this. Whatever I am today, right, I developed certain qualities from the past and I'm using it in my present. I read the book in the past, now I'm sharing it in the present. Correct. And now the people out there are going to use this book for your future. Okay, and now I'm talking to your future. And when I'm talking about the book, I'm developing my future. So the past, present, and the future are equally important. Okay, the author tells don't ignore it. But where you should live more is in the present. Okay, why? Because you are going to live this moment. Okay, and this minute is real. Now, that is something which is a favorite part of my book. There's another favorite part of this book is this man, this disturbed character, once he grow up, he met the old man. Now I'm trying to reconnect with you that incident. And he said, see, when I was young, you said there is a gift. When I was a teenager, you said there is a gift. But you're not given me the gift at all. But he said, when the days passes by, you will understand the gift by yourself. He said, right now I'm a disturbed, corporate guy, and I'm very much, worried. And then the old man said, now tell me what is happening in your life. He said, look, right, I work so hard, but I don't get the promotion. I don't get the recognition. And this is disturbed me. He said, right, okay, now let me take you back to your childhood days. You used to clean the, say, what you call grass. You used to mow the grass. And at that time, tell me, how were you doing it? And he said, when I was a young boy, I used to happily cut. I used to whistle. I used to sing a song. I used to run around. And I used to feel so happy doing that work. He said, now tell me one thing. Are you having the same thought process while you are working in your company? And the young man is taken back. You know why? That day, you didn't anticipate anything. You never anticipated whether your parents are going to appreciate you, whether your neighbor is going to appreciate you, whether, somebody will call you and give you a job. You just did it because you loved it. Okay. Now, are you doing the same thing with your job? And the young man tells, he said, I have discovered the gift. He said, yes, what is the gift? The gift is, right, that day, I never thought about anything other than mowing the grass, other than cleaning the field, other than watering the plants. Nothing was there in my mind. And that's the reason why I was happy. He said, now I found out the gift. The gift is I should just keep doing my job. Right? I should not worry about appreciation. I should not worry about rewards. I should not worry about performance management system. Right? When I do my job, right, when I do it with 100% efforts, right, if I don't get it, it is okay. But still I enjoy that 8 hours. That is more important to me rather than who is recognizing me. He said, you found the gift, go and lead a life. Okay, that's how this book, neatly presents that gift to him. And there is one more part what I really enjoyed in the book is when Liz and this person, say Bill, right, they end their conversation, right? Now, this Liz actually talks about the conversation she had with Bill to one of her colleagues. And then everybody starts understanding what is the gift. And very slowly, everywhere, in every part of the organization, let it be in the Bill's organization or Liz organization, people always found that, right, that the present is more important. And one lady, what she did is she went one step extra and she came up with a thought process that whenever she starts thinking about the past and whenever she just recollects a negative thought about the past, she takes a $1, she puts it in a piggy bank. Okay, whenever she worries about the future, she puts a dollar. and she was observing herself for a few months. There are a lot of dollars inside the piggy bank. You know why she did that? She said, "This
Mhm.
is the fine I am paying for not enjoying the present."
Wonderful,
Okay,
brilliant, I think. I think
right?
more than anyone else, I needed to hear this, that what you shared.
Yeah,
More than anyone else, I really needed to hear this. Like things like why we can't enjoy our job, why what's wrong with us.
yeah.
So thank
And
you.
when I read this book again, right, I was going to Mumbai to do a program, and that particular part of the book, right, when she puts that few dollars, I was thinking, what a great idea is this? Because in my training programs, sometimes, right, when we talk about positive thinking, we actually tell people to wear a rubber band. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And whenever they get a negative thought during the training program, they're supposed to pull the rubber band and hit it on their hand,
Hurt
on their
themselves.
wrist. Okay, it'll
Yes.
pain. Right? I tell the more it pains, the more you are in the past. The less you use the rubber band, the more you enjoy the present. Okay, we used to use this method. But now I understood that this particular method, what I followed was because of the book. Okay, which would have subconsciously got programmed and it would have created an innovation while doing a program. Now, let me also narrate this particular exercise, what that lady did.
Hmm.
July 15th, I lost a very close friend of mine. Right, it was very unfortunate. Friday night, we both were chatting with each other over the phone because we both were supposed to deliver a program in Mumbai for a client. And we were giggling and talking about the happy moments of the program. And he was telling, in Naren, let's go a little early to Mumbai so that we can enjoy a nice street food in the evening. And whenever he speaks, he talks about enjoying a good food, enjoying a good walk in Marine Drive or whatever it is. I said, okay, Chabi, right, right, I'm available the entire day for me to travel. The choice is yours. And then Friday, we just said, okay, Naren, Monday, I think the tickets will hit our email. Saturday early morning, I saw a message and I was not able to really understand. His partner put a message telling that Javi is no more. I was shocked. Right. I thought probably Javi's father is not keeping well, so Javi is not there. Right. Something has happened to his father. And then when I read the message, I called up his partner, who is also a good friend of mine. He said, Naren, he's no more. He had a cardiac arrest. I couldn't believe at all. The previous night we were talking, we were planning for a trip. And then he sent a mail to his partner telling Naren and myself are traveling, do this. And next is these are the programs that is lined up. And we need to do a client presentation. And Naren is willing to meet us for this. So I sent all the mail. And then he said it is shocking. And when I was going to Mumbai, right, I finished, I lost him in July. I went in August. And when I went and stood in the training program, I was able to see him there because he was on my mind. And I was telling his partner, I did not know, Sai, how I'm going to deliver this program because he's always there in front of my eyes. We both used to deliver this program together and we used to have a great time. And he tells, right, Naren, you are the main trainer. I'll go take some rest in the back. And then he comes in between, he does some beautiful, discussions. And this time, after reading this book, right, especially that particular act of that lady, I told Sai, I know that, right, we both have a lot of memories about him. Now, this particular line in this book actually is very interesting. When we go there, let us live the present because the participants are more interested in learning. The participants are more interested in connecting with us. Okay, Jabi will be a guiding star to us, right? Instead of worrying about losing Jabi, let us think about what Jabi gave as a lesson to us, right? Have a smiling face, right? Come with a reason to learn, right? These are some of the words you used to tell. And then, right, we didn't feel we lost Jabi. We felt Jabi was actually traveling with us. Okay, look, how the book actually makes your mind to think. You got it? Right? It's not about the book. It's about your experience of your life that you try to mix it with the book and read.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure the people who are out there or listening to this webinar, go back and read some of your favorite books again. I'll tell you, it actually will mean you something different. Okay, before marriage, when you read a book, it was different. After marriage, when you read a book, it is different. Right? Before, some of us would have had a very successful, what you called a business, and suddenly, right, COVID would have brought us down. But when you read this book now, the book actually means something different. Okay. So these are some of the favorite parts of my book. Let me try to sum it up again for you. The book itself is favorite, right? Life is a tripod stand where the past, present, and future are the three legs. All are important. And next is that exercise of putting a dollar whenever you think about the past, whenever you worry about the future. the more money you collected in your piggy bank, that
That
means
is
that means to tell that, right, you have actually lost a beautiful gift called the present, and you're fined for your own behavior. Yeah.
what penalty for your own behavior.
Yeah, that's a penalty for your own behavior.
So
Okay.
just like just to get like your take on this, if you are going to recommend this book to someone, what are the three reasons that you are going to tell them why you should read this book?
Okay. Now, see, those who are actually worried, about the past incident that has happened, it can be anything, right? It can be COVID days in Sri Lanka. You had a difficult, economic recession going on, or probably you would have lost somebody close in your family. I mean, in an extended family, whatever it is, right? If you are disturbed, I'll tell you, please open this book. You know why? It actually makes us understand that life is not about worrying; it's about living the moment. Okay, and that's so beautiful, right? When you closely watch, a child, just observe a child, right? The toddler will be moving around, will be, what you call picking up something from the ground, smiling for no reason, right? Crying for no reason sometimes. Okay, that
Asking
kid
for what they
actually,
want.
yeah, asking for what they want. That kid lives that minute and that second. Okay, so those who want to become a kid again, I'll tell you, read this book. And those who want to reflect on your own behaviors, read this book. Those who want to rediscover yourself, read this book. Right? Those who want to have a very positive thought about the present, read this book. Now, shall I tell you one thing?
Yes.
All of you read this book.
Wonderful. So yes, that means a lot. You should read this book.
Yeah.
So I got this question that can you recollect any Zen story related to this book?
Well, I'll tell
Is there
you
anything interesting like a Zen story?
very much, very much. I'll tell you, right? The most of the thought process in this world has evolved from Zen, especially the small stories, the old monk stories, sensei, and all these things. If you see, right, let it be a corporate trainer, let it be a spiritual guru, everybody, they actually have a Zen in their hand, and Zen comes very handy. Okay, after reading this book, right, I was recollecting a beautiful Zen story. I think this story will know what you call help us to close the session very well. Okay, the
Okay.
story goes like this, right? There is a practice in the monastery that whenever a very senior monk is in the deathbed, and before he dies, when he tells certain things and people listen to it, they'll be enlightened. Okay, there was one monk who was very serious. He was almost in the last stages of his life. So the disciples were standing around him and waiting for him to tell few words. And they thought once we listen to this, we'll be enlightened. Okay, they were standing there for an hour and two, but the old man was he's kept his eyes open. He was staring at them. And then very slowly, he just moved his finger and he said, please, one of you come closer to me. Everybody went closer and they thought he's going to tell something. He said, I'm very hungry. Can you bring something to eat for me? Everybody, they rushed. They brought some, food, what is eaten in the monastery. And this gentleman, he slowly lifted himself. He just leaned on the bed. He took the food. And he was eating it, right, one by one. Right, he was closing his eyes. He was eating it. He was closing his eyes, and people were waiting. And after eating the food, he called people closer. They said, probably this man is now energetic. He will tell something. He said, give me some water to drink. He drank, and then he wiped his mouth. And right, he called everybody, and they said, this is going to be the final word. He said the food was very good, and he died. Okay, everybody were, what you called rejected or dejected or disappointed, whatever the words we want to use it. And then everybody put their head down and they walked. And there was another, say spiritual, monk. He asked, what was the message the old man he gave? This young monk said, no message, Guruji. What he did is he said the food was very good and he died. He said, that's the message. He said, how come that can be the message? He said, even when he was dying, the last activity he was doing is he was eating the food. So every minute, every second, he enjoyed what he ate. And that's called, right, being in the present. And that's called, right, those who live in the present are the most gifted people in the world. And that old man, he never felt the pain of the death because he was enjoying the gift called the present. That's the power of the story.
Yes, thank you very much. And I think that's very, yeah, very funny as well. And there's a question live. I hope you can take it if I ask from you. So Mr. Paul Raj
Yeah,
is
yeah, please.
asking, yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Paul Raj, he is asking why our worry is disturbing the present. How to handle worry? Can you let me know some techniques, sir?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. Right. With my experience, I'll tell you one thing. Right. We are basically right what you call human beings. Right. So we always have some kind of a desire. We always have some kind of anticipation. Okay. If that is not there, then we have reached the eternal, what you call path. Okay. First
Yes,
thing is right. Allow
enlightenment.
your body. Yeah. And that is enlightenment. That cannot happen so soon. Right. As long as we have EMIs with us. Okay. Right. So the first thing what I'd suggest Paul is, Paul, right, agree the fact that right, this is natural, this will happen to everybody. But at one point of time, very slowly, you will realize that right, you need to come to terms with your life. Okay, yes, there can be a disturbed person in life, but it doesn't mean that I need to disturb my present. Now, let me ask you one simple question. If a pilot is so disturbed, and if he is going to bring that disturbance while flying, will we agree this? It's a life risk, correct?
Yes.
Now imagine a surgeon who had a lot of personal problems, and I go to that surgeon, right? And now if the surgeon, right, cuts open my body and he thinks about his problem, is it agreeable?
Mm.
No. We all want everyone who serves us, everyone who give us service to be in the present and give us a good service, correct? Let it be a doctor, let it be a pilot, let it be anybody. Okay, we expect people to be in the present and do the job well. Like that, your company is expecting you to do the job well. So be there in the present, right? Wherever you're working, right? Enjoy that work, right? It is not right. It is in line with your thoughts. Sometimes you might not get what you should get, but right when I do this work sincerely, when I'm more oriented towards giving the best today, right? The world is the playground where I can play. I will not be restricted to one company or one brand.
Wonderful. Yes. So whatever you do, focus on it and do it as a service. So I think that you will not be worried about what lies ahead of you if you are just focused on what you're doing right now. That's
Yeah.
very nice. So any other questions from the audience? I think you have a lot of questions, especially after listening to this very live discussion. So you can put your questions on the chat box if you are able to. Or if you can, yes, there are other ways to let us know. Yes, you can raise the hands. I might be able to see you. It's very interesting, and I'm just curious to know now. It seems like your profession is a trainer,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
have you written any books? Have you considered
Yeah,
writing any book?
I wrote a book in 2018. It's called Random Management Thoughts One.
Wow,
Uh, and then I got other 50 more books to publish,
wow,
which is all ready almost. And I need to do some final tuning. And I have
nice.
some great plans on it. I already shared it with Mr. Raghulan also. Uh, so let's, right.
Really?
It'll happen. It's not that it's not going to happen. One day it's going to happen. Yeah.
Anyway, it's wonderful to know now. I'm curious to find your book and read it as well. Random
Yeah.
Management Thoughts. So
Random
there's so
Management
much,
Thoughts One.
so much. Yes. There's so much more to the person who reads, as I feel now. From the moment that I saw this book present, I've only like heard about it in another forum where someone discussed about the book or presented the book, and I still did not have the chance to actually pick it up and read. So now I'm really dying to pick a copy up and read. So that's the influence Pick a Book can have on each of
Yeah.
us. It influences us to read the books, and when it comes to like book selections, unless we see it on social media or somewhere, or unless someone recommends us, we don't get the chance to find good books. So it's a very great opportunity to get book recommendations from avid readers like you as well. So how far has this journey in your life has been like when you related to the book? So do you like live according to the wise words in the book? Can you say that? Like,
Okay, right. Certain right, certain qualities what I've developed over a period of time is it is because of the self-development books. Okay, that is for sure, no doubt about it. And this particular book, right, it has reinforced certain qualities what I feel I personally have is right. I don't worry about tomorrow much. I don't worry about it. Right. I know that I'm there. Right. So let me go with that, kind of happiness wherever I'm going. Because my job is there are 20, 30 people will be sitting in front of me and they're going to sit with me for 8 hours or 16 hours, 2 days. So they all came for a purpose. And I need to have that purpose. The purpose is let me go with a good mood every time. Okay. As a human being, right, problems are inevitable. Right. If there are no problems, then there is no business at all.
just like the
You got it?
heartbeat, like ups and downs,
Yeah,
ups and
it'll
downs.
be there. It'll be there. In fact, right. So whenever I just start my day, right, I always feel today is a good day. That's it. Right. I don't do much of postmortem of what has happened yesterday. Right. Too much of what you call root cause analysis. Right. And keep worrying about it. I've delivered it. It has happened. That's it. Right. If I see a feedback that is positive, I smile at it. If I see something is not right, I correct it. That's it. Right. It makes you very simple, right? At the end of the day, all these books will make you one thing very clear. Right. One life is not sufficient to lead. First point. And
Wow.
second is the more you read, the more you feel ignorant.
Yes, true. That's
Okay.
true.
It will make you very humble at one point of time. Okay. When during COVID, when I was reading books on leadership, I was taken back. I said, come on, yeah. They've written so much about leadership. Okay. And I'm already 50, right? Now only I started reading leadership. So probably if the life can be more, how much books can we read, right? That's the power of reading.
There are so many books, but and you feel like there's not enough time in the world that
Yeah,
to
if
all.
you ask me, right, the number of books into number of prints is more than number of human beings on the earth.
Wow. That's a
Just,
different
just,
perspective.
just think about it, right? In those days, this book called Man's Search for Meaning sold nearly about 30 million copies. Okay, that day, what would have been the world population? Right, you just go to Kindle, there are not less than few lakh books, right? And just you bring all the books together, the world will not be sufficient
Enough.
to hold it. Okay,
Oh, we
thanks to
got a
pick a
good
book
question.
because, yeah, please.
Yes. So someone is asking, yes, Nimesh Chandimal is asking, what are the similar kind of books that you could recommend here?
Okay, one is there's a book called Well Done. Okay, it's about how to build relationship with people. Okay,
Well
Whale,
done.
WHALEDONE. I presented that book in Pick a Book before 2 weeks in Chennai. That is one. And second is, right, if you're not read Seven Habits of Effective People, right, let this book be next to your pillow every day.
Okay.
Still, Dr. Covey is not there, but his work is still alive. Yeah. These two books I recommend for now.
Okay.
Right, buy it,
First one
read it.
is
Well Done to Build Relationship. WHALEDONE.
Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. That's one of the best books, right? No doubt about it. In 90s, right? When I started my business in 97, right? If you don't read that book, we committed a crime.
Okay.
They keep asking you, have you not read it? That's the question they
Point
ask.
well taken.
And I had a small library because I had an education center. I
Okay.
ensured that, right, I used to have 3 or 4 copies because, I used to encourage people to read it. So one copy, they'll tell, sir, in library, the book is not there. I'll tell, come on, 3 books are there. Go and take it up.
Nice. So I hope we answered Mr. Chandimal's question as well. So I think we've had a very live and animated discussion, and it's been a great time that we spent with you. There's so much more to ask you, but I think time is ticking. As always, there's a problem with time, so we will have to stop the Q&A here as well. So I just want to
Thank you,
express
Zara,
my
for your wonderful questions and the kind of enthusiasm you carry and the good smile you carry while doing the session is very important.
Yes, and I'm also a great book lover and a book hoarder, to be honest.
Okay.
More than a reader, I've hoarded books. So in the
Okay.
anticipation that I will be able to read them all after I retire, hopefully, which which has more than 25 years left. Anyway, so and this book is something that I never expected to be this interesting because I've only heard about it one time, and after you talked about it so enthusiastically, now actually it's like it's caused a burning fire inside of me to pick it up, to find it
Yeah.
immediately, if possible,
Yeah.
today itself. So I want to express my sincere gratitude to your enthusiasm, to your humble and sincerity, your sharing your knowledge, being a person with so much experience and so much knowledge, and having gone through so many hardships. Beg your pardon. Having gone through so many hardships during the past few years, I think that also gave you a sort of different perspective to life. And when you read this book again, I think we are looking forward to have more and more discussions with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully,
I'll be very happy to be a part of Pick a Book. Right. I need to thank Pick a Book because I was reading mostly in Kindle before I joined Pick a Book, and now my bag is always with one book.
full of books.
And
At least one or
yeah,
two books I carry
yeah, yeah,
in.
one or two book is there. All my travel today is all about reading books, right? Because I just put the mobile inside the bag. I feel it's over. It's not required anymore. Let's revisit our old life.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. It's
Thank you,
been a
Zara.
great honor
Thank
and
you, Pick a Book.
privilege for me to conduct this session as your moderator. So
And I
now we
thank all
have
the
come to the
participants.
end. Yes, now we have
I
come
thank all
to
the
the end of
participants.
this webinar. Thank you. Yes, thank you, participants, and thank you for the two readers who put forward those wonderful questions as well, because we got to know two wonderful books as recommendations. Now, I would like to remind you that the world of books is a treasure trove of knowledge, as we talked about a few minutes ago, and every page turned is an opportunity to learn and grow. We hope that you found today's discussion enlightening and inspiring. And I humbly like to ask you to stay tuned for more exciting events organized by Pick a Book Global in the future. So until then, I wish you all a happy and healthy life. Keep reading and keep learning. Signing off, I'm Zara Mars.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.